We have about 50 minutes until our train leaves Chicago for Los Angeles.
One out of every two people just click on the teacups and
See? See? They go, I'm like, oh.
Hey viewers, it is June 12th, Saturday, June 12th. It is 8 a.m. and we are in Kingman, Arizona. That's not LA. My morning started out at about 5:45 in the morning, and I woke up to something along the lines of this.
Our crew, our engineer, their time is up. They can't drive no further. But since they shut down the tracks, we were sitting here, L-track won't let the engineer drive no further.
Right now, we're a little bit late. A lot of things happened during the night getting around trains. There's a lot of traffic backed up. There was an incident earlier last night involving a freight train and a pedestrian that did not go very well for the pedestrian. So there's a lot of traffic ahead.
And now, that's not what we had planned, obviously. So we're going to be having to shift everything around because we were sitting for around 6 hours. So we're adjusting. Instead of going all the way to LA and then taking a train into Rancho Cucamonga, where I was going to get picked up and then taken to rehearsal, I'm going to get off at San Bernardino and get picked up from there and go straight to rehearsal. If anything, I'm almost surprised I didn't do that at first, but what I wanted to do was get the full LA Union experience. Of course, the situation changes and we have to adapt, so that's what we're going to be doing. When I get back on the train, I'm going to go ahead and freshen up a little bit, put my Pacific Crest shirt back on, brush my teeth, and we're going to try to get ready for rehearsal. Cool. So I thought I'd be taking a little bit of time right now, while I have so much time, to talk about your mindset. Now, mindfulness is cognition towards cognition, or thinking about your thoughts. In short, it's the power to press on the brake and to consider the things that are going on in your head while they are going on in your head, and to act accordingly. Now, a lot of people sort of think of this sort of live, laugh, love all the time, very stoic sort of definition when they think about mindfulness. And that's something that I generally don't like. I sort of try to stray away from that, just because I know that there's a little bit more towards that. You can be mindful while being positive, you can be mindful while being negative. It is a spectrum of ideas that happens inside of your head. But in short, mindfulness is a way to elevate yourself above a situation so that it doesn't bring you down and doesn't park on your abilities to overcome the situation. So let's give an example. The delay this morning. It was 6 hours. It was overnight, so none of us knew what was happening until we woke up. Now, the easy thing to do in a situation like that is to get upset, which a number of people did, and they were completely entitled to do that. And I sort of felt that way a little bit myself. But in order to take the mindful route to overcome the situation, what I did was I stopped for a second, and I had to remember what was going on. See, there was a lot of pointing fingers towards the Amtrak staff, which, again, I can understand that. You're allowed to be upset in a situation like this. But the fact of the matter was, after consideration, and after we had learned about it, what was going on was not the Amtrak staff's fault. At least, not the people that we could see. It's very easy to point fingers at something and try to cast blame as soon as possible so you know how to solve an issue. But some issues are a little bit bigger than that, and that's where being mindful comes in. What was going on was out of the Amtrak staff's control, and understanding that they were dealing with the same frustrations that we were dealing with made the whole situation a little bit different. That perspective is something that you cannot gain when letting your thoughts go completely by all the time. Now, being mindful is not the one-size-fits-all solution to every single problem in the world. But if you find yourself having a conflict with somebody else, that might be a good way to go about it. Thinking about the way that you're feeling and understanding what's making you feel that way. And when you can do that, you can overcome a situation a lot easier. Because a lot of conflicts go two ways. There are different ways to see the same issue. So I hope that helps. It definitely helps me a lot in dealing with things in band and outside of band. Let's go back up and soak in some more views.
Right.
6 hours late. They have that food. What do? They order pizza. Because we're having pizza for lunch on a rehearsal day. Still thinking about when I get to San Bernardino. I might want to try to get a hat. I do have a bandana, but I've used it at a rehearsal before and it didn't really work out well. So I need to get a hat. I have sunscreen. I have water. All that's arranged. The only thing I need was food. Now I don't need to worry about that anymore because they're ordering pizza. So yeah.
It's your whole rehearsal, huh?
I'm missing my whole rehearsal at this point.
You might as well go straight to your house, take your shower. You ain't going nowhere.
This reminds me a lot of just COVID in general, because it's like, at first you're like, oh, that's 2 weeks down the drain. You know, at first it was like, oh, well, you know, we're gonna be sitting at that, you know, in the middle of nowhere for like 6 hours. And then it's just like, then it just keeps taking, you just get, you get desensitized to how much time you're losing. Mindful. Yes. Thank you very much. So, in my consumer behavior analysis class, we talked about the recovery paradox. A consumer generally has a better opinion of a business if they recover from bad service, as opposed to if they just give average service. It's a bit of a paradox. It's not really proven. It's just kind of like a theory or something like that. I think this is the recovery, the slice of pizza. This is customer service at its work. This has to be uploaded after the season, or at least after rehearsal. I don't want people to know that I had pizza right before rehearsal. Like 50 minutes late.
If you're exiting at San Bernardino, please gather up your personal belongings. Make sure you have everything with you. Please watch your step to the lower level. San Bernardino is coming right up. San Bernardino.
Look, Jeff. I gotta take a picture.
Oh, I can take a picture of you if you want. Howdy.
How you doing?
Doing alright, how are you?
Good to see you, man. We made it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, even the guys on the platform were saying this train is 9 hours late.
I thought 3 days would be enough, but no, I guess they had to give me another half day or something like that. So, I'm not at rehearsal right now. It's currently 3:55. I got off of my train at 3 o'clock, and it was a 45-minute drive to my host's house, or it was an hour drive to rehearsal. And I would have gotten there at around 4. Rehearsal ended at 6. In that 2 hours, I probably would have spent an hour catching up with everyone else, and then an hour actually rehearsing. In terms of time efficiency, it didn't make a whole lot of sense for me to actually go there, which I think kind of sucks, but at the same time, I would rather give my all for a whole day as opposed to scramble and catch up with everyone else with only like 2 hours. But when I actually got here, apparently there were people on board with the idea that I wouldn't be coming to rehearsal at all today. You know, whether that be that it was going to be too scrambled, or I wasn't going to be up for it, or something like that. I personally thought I was going to be ready to just go for it, but I think that given the circumstances, it's probably best that I didn't go to rehearsal. But I guess that's kind of all in the past now. I can focus on being here now, and here is at my host's house. I was one of the first people to reach out to the host, as well as some other kids, but because I was first and because my stay is going to be longest out of any of them, I'm the one who gets the guest room, which means I get this really nice big bed. I haven't jumped in it yet, but this beats a train seat any day. Oh, and here's another slight benefit. Alexa, turn on the lights.
Okay.
Like, is that cool or what? Anyway, here I am. In California. I couldn't have said that 3 days ago. I couldn't have said that 12 hours ago. What am I talking about? I'm very fortunate to be here, and I'm very happy that I got this far. Happy, but not satisfied. Tomorrow, I get to push myself. Otherwise, I think that wraps up today's episode. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Vegas, baby. I was able to experience some local food as well as paradise.
You want to show us what you got right there?
A bag.